Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. So the harvest is complete. I got nearly another full trailer load, which was about another $150,000 or euros. I'm sorry. I also sold my weeder, which I'm not planning to use. It's so slow that I would honestly at this point I'd rather just pay the extra cost and get it done faster with the herbicide. Turn on the lights in there. And we've got 410,000. So with all that, we're still a little bit short when it comes to getting a new harvester. I don't really have anything else to sell besides the solar panel, which I've already admitted was probably a mistake to buy that. I think it seems like it's a good investment, but I think since I was planning to get a harvester, I should have waited. But the other thing I noticed is that you may recall when I bought field 12, I went and checked to see if my loan limit had increased. And it didn't seem like it did. But I checked again, and I can now borrow vast sums of money. Well over $1 million. So I think maybe for that to work, maybe you need to quit, save your game and then restart the game or something to get the new loan limit to take effect. But it does seem that my loan limit has increased quite a bit. So what I have decided to do is to borrow a little extra money so I can get a new harvester. And then I'm going to see if I can borrow yet more money to buy field 14. Field 14 is 403,000. And then we'll get the plow again and we'll expand our field into the area of field 14. Now the other option would be to get field 17 as well. That wouldn't be a bad choice because then we could combine 17 and 18, which would give us a big field over here and another big field over there. But I think if we're going to do it, we might as well go big and go for field 14. And then we could also get into 21 and 22 at some point. Let's see. 14's ready to harvest, but it's got cotton on it. Now there is a contract to harvest 14. But, I've tried doing a cotton contract before, and it doesn't seem like you get any extra money from surplus crop like you do with the other harvesting contracts, since you're only selling one item, which is that cotton bale or module or whatever they call it. So I don't think that's such a great idea. But I do think that buying fields is a good strategy because, the other thing, let's say I didn't want to borrow a lot more money and I have enough to either buy field 14 or a harvester. At this point, since we're planning to sometime in the near future liquidate our farm here and move to another one, buying fields would be a better use of money because you can sell your fields for the same price that you pay for them. But when you buy equipment, as soon as you start to use it, its value steadily decreases over time. So at this stage, since we know that there's an end to this, to this farm sometime in the next couple of weeks, probably, it seems like financially, and since we're planning to liquidate this farm and carry our carry our money over to the new one. Seems like buying land with our cash and then renting equipment would be probably a better way to come out of here with as much money as possible. But that being said, even though leasing seems like a good idea on paper, I feel better owning my equipment. And the other option I've been considering is when we go to the new farm is maybe I'll just sell all my land and my buildings and then take my equipment to the new farm. And get rid of whatever equipment comes on the new farm and just carry my equipment over. That's another option. Although I wouldn't mind starting with all new equipment just to make some different choices the next time around for some variety. But let me know what you think about that idea. Now, to do that technically within the game, what I would do is just I would save this game. I would sell the land and the buildings. I'd pay off the loan. I'd see how much money I have left over. And then I would start the new game with, I would have to edit the save file, and then I would start the new game with all the same equipment that I have on this one. I would just have to buy new copies of it in the new game, and then I would adjust my money so that at the end of it, I have no loan and I only have as much cash as what I leave this game with. Right? That would be how I could make that happen. So anyway, let me know what you think. In the meantime, let's return this harvester before we get charged for another day. I went leased items. Here we go. All right, so we're going to return this. Thank you. You've been wonderful. And we're going to return this. Great. Oh, and in regards to that solar panel, I did notice that we have in my money, if you look at that top row, property income, 2,460. So I think that means that I've been running the solar panel for 3 hours. Now I was expecting to see a message on the screen when I get that money, but I didn't see it. So I don't either I've missed it or there's no message. Or maybe the money increases and it just doesn't say anything. Or maybe we'll just get like a lump payment at midnight. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But in any case, let's buy a new harvester. First, I need to put some more money in the bank. So let me borrow. Let's get this up to 600. That should be plenty. Okay. So we've got several good choices. Now there are a couple modded case axial flow 9240s from Stevie. This is the in-game one. It costs 420,000 and it has 14,400 liters capacity, and you can change the wheels on the back. And that's it. 634 horsepower. Now the Stevie versions, you can do that as well. You can also increase the horsepower to 692. And you can also increase the capacity to 30,000 liters or 60,000 liters. Now, I get the feeling that in real life, this wouldn't happen. So while I would love to have a harvester that can hold 60,000 liters, that just kind of kills the realism for me. Now, we could just get the standard capacity, and we could get more horsepower, and it would cost a little bit less money, 410 versus the 420. And then he also has a version with wheels instead of tracks on the front, which I think is pretty cool. And that also has the capacity extension and the engine modification. Okay, and then there's the class harvesters. The biggest one is, these are all actually not too far from each other, but you need the 780 to get the biggest header. That holds 12,800, which is less than the others. And the biggest class header is, let's see, for the 780 is, oh, okay, I'm sorry, for the 780 is 12 meters. Whereas the biggest header for the John Deere, the Case, and the New Holland is 13.7, and for the Power Flow, it's 12. So I think I'm not going to get the class because I want to get the biggest header I can. But maybe on the next farm, maybe I'll use one of those class harvesters. Okay, so the main choices here are the John Deere, the 790. We got the Case, the New Holland, and the Ideal. Now the Ideal's got a smaller header, and it's got less power, and it's the most expensive. But it has the biggest tank. Let's take a look at those headers. Okay, so that's the header for the Ideal. It's 12 meters wide, 79K. It's quite nice, stunning in black. It's what all the movie stars are wearing these days. But it doesn't fold up, and it doesn't have an integrated trailing or towing system like the other ones do, or some of the other ones. The John Deere doesn't have it either. So for the John Deere and the Ideal, you would need a separate header trailer. And one of the issues is that the largest header trailer in the game is, well, you got this Elmer's. This one might be big enough. Yeah, I think it would have to be this one. Because what I've noticed is that the largest non-modded one, which is the Leguan Quattro 40, it's a little bit too short for those big headers. When you put the header on, the side of the header is all the way close to where the hitch is. And if you don't get it on just right, you're going to have trouble. So we could probably use this Elmer's one. I think this one is 45 feet, something like that. That's probably big enough. And you can change the color. Okay, so let's not worry too much about the trailers. All right, so we got the John Deere. These all have somewhat comparable power. Again, except for the Ideals, a little bit less. Does this offer an upgrade? It does. You can upgrade the power for only $54,000. Jeez, I don't know why this thing is so expensive. It does look awfully sexy, but it is very expensive. That being said, I think 538 horsepower would be enough. Now from these other three, from the John Deere up to the New Holland, you're only talking about a difference of 400 liters. In the tank, horsepower is pretty similar. The John Deere header is a little bit smaller. So why bother with that one? Oh, no, that header is the same size. I'm sorry. Let's just double check that. 13.7. Yeah, it is the same size as the others. Okay. So we could go John Deere. And it's less expensive than the others. And you can put twin wheels on the front, which is pretty cool. For only $10,000. I do rather like that, though. And then we got the case. And on the case, I believe the pipe on the rear will fold at a 90-degree angle. The New Holland, I think the New Holland does that as well. Yeah, it does. You can see there's a hinge right there. And the New Holland's got a little bit more power. It's got a little bit bigger tank. It's bright yellow. If I get the case, then that would balance out the number of cases in New Hollands that we have on our farm. I've got a T6, a T8, and the case Puma. So this would keep the case from feeling lonely, and it would save us a little bit of cash. So, but at the end of the day, I like this one. And I like this one. You know what? Everybody's seen this New Holland a million times. Let's get the big, bad, beautiful black one. Yes, I'm going to purchase it for $465,000. Okay, now let's buy a very expensive header for it, which is that one. Let me just check again, make sure there's no bigger one. Yeah, that's it. $79K. Oh, yeah, and I guess we're keeping the Fendt design on these. You could choose Massey or Challenger as well. But, yeah, I like the Fendt. So we'll take the Fendt Ideal header. And then we will purchase the Elmer's manufacturing trailer. Of course, we must change the color. Onyx or Jet? Agco. No, that's the color of the weights. Let's see what Onyx. Onyx looks fairly black. Kind of a matte finish. And Jet looks pretty much exactly the same, doesn't it? I can't really tell a difference. No, I guess this is a little bit lighter. Let's try Onyx and see if that's a match. Okay. Just in time for us not to be able to see any of it. All right, so let's get closer first of all. Let's go in our lawn chairs and pass through the night here. Where are they? Oh, here we go. I do have a flashlight. Sorry, what time is it? It's 20, so let's sleep for 10 hours. That'll be 6 a.m. That's an awful lot of sleeping. I guess we're lazy farmers. There's our property income, $4,100. That's almost enough to offset our loan payment. All right, I'm going to start this up again. Let's get in close so we can hear it nice and loud. Ready? It's actually rather quiet. I'm not complaining about that. I think some of the other harvesters, well, certainly the Rosselmash was quite noisy. So it'll be nice to have something that's a little less in your face. Okay. Well, this should be rather formidable going up and down the fields. And let's see if this trailer was a good choice. I can't see a thing. Yeah, it looks like this is easily long enough. And I'm guessing that that little crossbar in the center, yeah, I think this is pretty much the center. So let's see if we line this up. That looks about right. So this is the only drawback with this header, is that you have to use the trailer. The trailer is a little bit tricky. And maybe, okay, let's try this again. See if I can get it on there straighter. I'm never sure if I should lower it, if I should try to lower it first before I disconnect it. See if we're straight. I think I need to get that end in a little bit further. Okay, I'm going to try to lower it a bit. There we go. That seemed to work better. I probably should have lowered that that roller or rake or whatever that rotating thing on the top is called. Okay. Very nice. So we got a nice new rig. Will provide us with hours of enjoyment. It is gorgeous. A nice change from having everything red and blue and yellow and all those other extremely bright farming colors. Okay. And we'll park the header here, as we often do. Let's go in from the other side. Or maybe I'll park it back here. I think that'll work out better. So that way I've got a little more runway to get this lined up properly. And now I've completely made a mess of it. I'm scratching up my new header. Okay, let's try this one more time. I hope this isn't as enjoyable for you as it is for me. All right, let's get as close as we can to the wall. There we go. That'll be mostly out of the way. And then we'll go park this in the shed, since we're unfortunately not going to be able to use it for a little while. Awesome. Let me take a screenshot. There we go. Okay. So let's look into buying a field. We're going to need 400 and something. Oh, sorry, that was going the wrong way. I don't want to repay. That would be silly. See if we can get up to 400. And hopefully still have enough money to buy some seeds. Okay. That's my limit. 446. Okay. Easy come, easy go. Well, congratulations. We're now the new owners of another field. Okay. So we need to We need to weed. No, we don't need to weed because we're going to plant first. That'll take care of the weeds. We do need to... We need to plant and fertilize. Looks like field 14 does not need plowing. And this got cotton, right? Let's see how much cotton is worth. 3,300. One of those big cotton bales holds 20,000. And when I did a contract on this field before, I got more than one full bale. I don't remember how much was in the second one. So if I get one full bale, that would be 20, 60, it would be about $60,000. It's only fertilized 50%, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, let's say worst case we get 60,000. What does it cost to lease a cotton harvester? $24K. Maybe 34 if it takes a long time, if it takes 2 hours. And then we would also need to lease one of those trailers to pick it up with. Is there cotton technology in here? Yeah, here we go. Another 1,200. That's nothing. Okay, well, tell you what. Let's lease it and let's get the cotton off of that field and see how we make out. I mean, we should come out ahead as long as we make more than 30 or 40,000. Then you know, it's better than doing a contract. And I don't think I've done any cotton harvesting on camera, so this will be something new for us. I have done, well, like I said, I did a cotton contract, and I think it was on that same field. I don't remember how much fertilizer was on the field when I did that contract, but I did get 1 point something bales of cotton off of it. So that means that we should be able to make a profit even after the leasing costs. And we should end up making more profit than we would have made by just doing the contract on the field before we bought it, which was only about 7,000 minus leasing. You know, we probably would have netted 6,000, 6,500, something like that, which is not very much. So now the cool thing about the cotton harvesting is that when it gets full, it just dumps the bale on the field. So once you set a worker going, you could pretty much just forget about it until the job's done. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a worker on it, and then we'll go work our fields. And then when it's done, we'll lease that little trailer, and we'll come and pick up the bales and take them to sell. I'm not sure if we'll finish it in this episode, but all right, so we need to unfold it. It's a rather cool piece of machinery. Okay, turn on the worker. And then it goes through, it strips the tufts of cotton off of the plant, and it leaves the plant behind. And then if you were going to, well, you know, and then you need to cultivate it under. I'm assuming that our seeder, our direct drill seeder, I'm assuming we'll be able to go over top of this cotton plant, but I'm not certain of that. we'll have to see. Yeah, you know, it's... Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I was thinking about the yield on this field again. I can't remember how much fertilizer was on it last time I did it, but it looks like we'll get maybe about 1,200 on one pass here. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what we end up with. And then the next thing that I will do is I will check the prices of all the other crops and plug those into my spreadsheet to determine what we should plant next. Soybeans are $28.95 at the grain elevator, so I'll bet dollars to donuts that we're going to be doing soybeans again. Yeah, 13.23 on that pass. So, all right. So let's see how this turns out. We are out of time. It seems that I spent quite a considerable amount of time contemplating which harvester to buy. So I apologize for prattling on for so long. But I will start the next episode without any lapse in time from where we are now, and we'll start seeding. Between now and then, I'll figure out what crop we're going to plant, and then we can start working on field 18 and our big gargantuan field over here. And when I work field 14, actually, I'm not going to work field 14. I'll start working from this side, and then after the cotton harvest is over, we can get a plow and join all these fields together, and I'll probably follow the road here on field 14 all the way up and around here. We can expand this area above to the north of field 12 some more, so I'll do all that, and then hopefully by the time I get all that done, you know, the seeder will have worked its way over here and be ready to get that part of the field done. So I think it's going to be, that field's going to be bringing us some serious cash once we get all that taken care of. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I appreciate it as always. And we'll continue this next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.